What's up, everybody? This is Jonas, and welcome to the latest episode of Wrestling with Jonas. Tonight, we're going to be talking about NXT TakeOver WarGames. And we start the show with a surprise appearance from Matt Riddle. Now, Matt Riddle was meant to be wrestling Cassius Ohno on the pre-show for a match that was going to be shown on this coming Wednesday's NXT TV show. But as Matt Riddle kind of came to the ring, it turned out that they didn't have a match after all. So Riddle's music is a very catchy little tune and fits Riddle perfectly, and the fans in attendance at the Staples Center are massively into Matt Riddle, a lot of them very familiar with his independent days. His music, his entrance, and everything else about him as he takes to the microphone in the middle of the ring. The King of Bros opens his promo with a big bro. He says that he's not scheduled to have a match on TakeOver, but if you watch the kickoff show, he was interrupted by Cassius Ohno. So he says that we are chilling here in LA with 2 rings and that he would knock you out in both of them, referring to Cassius Ohno there. Ohno's music started and it looks like we could be having an impromptu match. Cassius also has a microphone in his hand as he walks down the ramp. Ohno says that Riddle is too stupid to know that he isn't supposed to be out there right now, but we have a referee, so ring the bell. Ohno went on to say that Riddle isn't going to remember anything after he knocks him out. So, although this was meant to have been a TakeOver pre-show match to be shown on this coming Wednesday's NXT TV show, we now have our opener for NXT TakeOver WarGames, Cassius Ohno versus Matt Riddle. So there we go, we do have ourselves a match. The bell rings and we see Ohno charging at Riddle, only to be caught flush on the jaw with a sweet knee, knocking Ohno flat onto his back, only to be covered for the 1, 2, 3 in about 6 seconds. The crowd chant, bro, 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 as Riddle celebrates his win. The win under 10 seconds. As I said, around about 6 seconds I made it. Ohno can barely stand as Riddle leaves the ring. And what a TakeOver debut, or how did he say it, debut for the King of Bros, Matt Riddle. Next we go on to the Women's Championship match. So Kairi Sane versus the current NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. Kairi makes her entrance first and by herself at this stage. Baszler looks all business as we see her walk through the backstage area and through the gorilla position onto the stage. A nice reaction for Baszler, and she looks focused and as mean as ever as she enters the ring. Shayna is the first ever 2-time NXT Women's Champion and possibly the most dominant Women's Champion in NXT history. Both Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler get a good reception from the fans before the bell rings for the first fall. So remember, this is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship. This is about their 5th encounter on TV. It's dating all the way back from middle of last year when we had the first ever Mae Young Classic final between these two, which Kairi Sane won. It's been a bit back and forth, but this is the 5th encounter. The last encounter was only last month when the two of them met for the NXT Women's Championship at WWE Evolution. To start the match, Sane launches herself at Baszler with a lightning quick attack in the corner before Baszler even had time to react. Sane takes the upper hand with some strong groundwork and a net breaker, followed by a vicious attack with a flying forearm to the outside. We're barely 2 minutes into the match when Shayna's cohorts Marina Shafir and Jasmine Duke attack Sane on the outside, with the referee's back turned, of course. They roll Sane back into the ring to loud boos from the fans. Shayna hooks in a Karafuda clutch in the centre of the ring, forcing Sane to tap and take the first fall as the crowd chants bullshit. Shayna hits a high knee for a 2 count before hooking in another Karafuda clutch, but this time Sane is able to hook the bottom rope for the escape. Shayna puts Kairi in a standing leg Boston Crab, but before letting go of the hold, stomps heavily on Kairi Sane's face with full force, causing a loud reaction from the fans. That looked painful and full on vicious. Both wrestlers get into a striking exchange, only for Baszler to floor her opponent with a clubbing clothesline. Plenty of Kairi chants as they make their way onto the ring apron, when Kairi is able to reverse a suplex attempt from Baszler into a DDT onto the apron. Firing up Kairi Sane even more as she climbs to the top turnbuckle, with Shayna still on the floor on the outside to hit a flying elbow on all three members of the Horsewomen. Baszler rolls back inside the ring, allowing Sane to climb to the top rope once again to hit her insane elbow for the 3 count and to even the match at 1 fall apiece. Sane hits 3 interceptors on Baszler, followed by a couple of spinning back fists. Both women start duking it out onto the second turnbuckle, leading to an attempted throw from Baszler, only to be reversed into a powerbomb from Sane onto Baszler for the 2 count. This match is red hot at the moment, and nothing to separate either competitor. Further outside interference from Duke and Shafir leads to Dakota Kai coming to Sane's aid to try to even things up. This then leads to Io Shirai to enter to help Dakota with an impressive flying moonsault from the top turnbuckle to the Horsewomen on the outside. That was probably the best moonsault that Shirai has hit since she signed with WWE. With everything going on the outside, Kairi Sane climbs to the top turnbuckle again to hit her insane elbow, only to be caught in a crucifix pinning manoeuvre by Shayna Baszler for the 3 count and the successful title defence. That was a good fast-paced match from the very first second and kept the action going at breakneck speed through all 3 falls. I rate this match 3 stars out of 5. Really enjoyed it. Probably not their best encounter, but it wasn't a long match. It was probably the right length, I would say, each fall only lasting a few minutes between each one. So it was the pace of the match that impressed me the most. Next we see the backstory to the Aleister Black, or the Who Attacked Aleister Black storyline, leading to tonight's match between Black and Johnny Gargano. It's definitely been an intriguing storyline with the whole whodunit build up and Johnny Gargano turning heel, or a little darker, as it was revealed that Johnny was Aleister's attacker. Johnny Gargano says that he is not ashamed of what he did. He said that the end justifies the means. So, Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. There's the new Johnny Gargano smiley face logo on the Titantron, demonstrating the darker side of Johnny wrestling. Johnny is met with mostly boos as he enters the ring. It's been a few months since we last saw Aleister Black on TV, possibly since his title loss to Tommaso Ciampa on the NXT TV show, when Tommaso Ciampa won the NXT Championship after the accidental belt shot from Gargano to Black, allowing Ciampa to pin Black for the win and the title victory. So there's dueling chants of Johnny wrestling and Aleister from the fans in the crowd. The match quickly exits to the outside with stiff kicks, knocking Gargano to the floor. With Gargano trying to outpace Black once back inside the ring. There's plenty of stiff strikes from Aleister Black. However, Gargano hits back with a super stiff kick of his own. Gargano applies a bodyboard style manoeuvre, which Aleister Black is able to escape from. Black hits a dive over the top rope, hitting Gargano on the outside. Black continues the assault with vicious kicks and strikes, as well as a lionsault for the 2 count. Black misses a moonsault to the outside, only to be hit by a tope DDT combo from Gargano onto the floor on the outside. Johnny hits a slingshot DDT to Black, back on the inside of the ring for another 2 count. This match is red hot so far, with back and forth kicks and strikes before Gargano hits a reverse Rana on Black. That looked very, very painful and impressive. However, this was countered pretty much straight away by Black getting up and hitting a huge running knee to the face of Johnny Gargano. Black stuns Gargano with a series of moves, including a knee to the face, a pair of flying knees, and a back German suplex for the 2 count. This is awesome. Chants erupts from the fans, and this match is so far awesome, most definitely. Gargano applies the Gargano escape, only to be rolled up into a pinning attempt from Black for another 2 count. Gargano lifts Aleister's head off the canvas with his boot in the same way that Black does to his opponents before finishing them off with the Black Bass. However, Johnny has his sights set on his old DIY finisher, a super kick to the head. However, before Gargano can hit the kick to Black, Black sits cross-legged in the centre of the ring and calls just Johnny to give him his best shot. Gargano lowers his knee pad for the running knee, but Gargano can only get a 2 count. Gargano has the upper hand as he starts to pummel Black with elbow strikes until both men exchange blows back and forth. Black gets dumped to the outside, allowing Gargano to attempt a running dive through the ropes, only to be met by a stunning knee to the face of Johnny Wrestling. Quite a few holy shit and Mamma Mia chants can be heard through the crowd. Gargano says that he's sorry and asks for Black to put him out of his misery. However, Gargano ducks the Black Mass attempt to go for the roll-up, followed by the Gargano escape. Black escapes and hits a stunning knee to Gargano before lowering his knee pad for the setup to the Black Mass. Black hits a Black Mass, knocking Gargano to the canvas for the 1, 2, 3 and the win. So another great match and some retribution for the man from Amsterdam in a match that went nearly 20 minutes. This takeover continues continues to impress me. And this match was outstanding. I'll give Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano 4.5 out of 5. A great match. We'll then see the Undisputed Era talking tactics backstage as they prepare for their WarGames match against Pete Dunne, Ricochet and the War Raiders. We then get a video package for the NXT Championship match between Tommaso Ciampa and the Velveteen Dream, which is up next. So, the Velveteen Dream enters first with a Hollywood Hogan look to his attire and a very good reception from the NXT faithful. Ciampa enters next with his new entrance music. Remember for months that Ciampa came out to the ring with a chorus of boos and expletives from the fans. However, Ciampa looks every bit the NXT champion as he holds the championship bout close to his chest. The crowd are firmly behind Velveteen as the bell rings for the start of the match. After a bit of a slow start, Dream hits a bit of offense against Ciampa, once again going into the Hollywood Hogan mode before hitting a double axe handle to Ciampa on the outside. Ciampa then shoves Dream to the outside from the top turnbuckle, with Dream landing hard on his neck and back. Ciampa hits a vicious running knee to Dream in the corner, appearing to knock Dream out at first glance. Dream makes it to his feet eventually to be hit by a back elbow and net breaker, taking Dream back to the outside. So a lot of attacks on the outside of the ring during this show so far. Ciampa puts Dream onto the top of the announcer's table, allowing Ciampa to hit another knee to the head. When the pair get back inside, Tommaso puts Dream in a chokehold. Dream does eventually make a bit of a comeback with some rights and lefts, followed by a net breaker of his own. Dream puts in his best Hulk Hogan performance here with a big boot and a leg drop combo, followed by a spine buster for the 2 count. Dream then goes after Ciampa's surgically repaired knee, slamming it into the ring apron before slapping on a figure 4 leg lock around the ring post, just like Bret Hart used to do to a lot of his opponents. It appeared that Tommaso tapped out while his legs were wrapped around the ring post. However, in this match, submissions need to be inside the ring. With this, Velveteen put the hold on once again when they re-entered the ring, with Ciampa in a ton of pain. Tommaso is briefly able to reverse the pressure before he is able to reach the ropes to break the hold. In the spot of the match so far, Dream manages to reverse an attempted suplex, managing to suplex both Ciampa and himself over the top rope and to the floor, both men landing hard on the outside. Dream and Ciampa managed to get back inside the ring before the 10 count, leading to a series of back and forth punches and blows by both men. Ciampa nearly manages to get the 3 count, only to be spotted by the referee pulling Dream's tights for additional leverage. Dream hits a Dream Valley Driver for a very close pinfall. The match is getting very good now, with the fans on their feet. Dream attempts a moonsault, only to be hit with a jumping knee from Ciampa, followed by a Project Ciampa, but this was only for a 2 count. Both men are struggling with their energies as Ciampa goes back to the outside, grabbing his title belt. At first we thought he was going to be off back to the locker room. But he went back into the ring only to be hit with a DDT onto the title belt itself for his troubles. With Dream getting another near fall, Ciampa is able to recover, nailing Dream with his patented draping DDT for another near fall. Everyone is on their feet as they chant, "This is awesome." Ciampa goes back to the outside to pull up the mat, similar to what he's done in previous TakeOver matches, in particular against Johnny Gargano, hoping to set Dream up for a DDT off the ring apron onto the concrete. However, before this could happen, Dream manages to drive Ciampa over the announce tables. Dream recovers quickly, hitting Ciampa with a Dream Valley driver onto the bare concrete that was the ring mats were just pulled up by Ciampa previously. Dream pushes Ciampa back into the ring before climbing onto the top rope to hit a purple Rainmaker elbow, but only a 2 count. Dream goes for the second elbow, only to be pushed off the top turnbuckle to the outside. Ciampa is quick to react, bringing Dream back into the ring to hit him with a draping DDT onto the metal partition between the two WarGames rings. Head first. That looks painful, allowing Ciampa to bring Dream back into the ring, hook both legs for the 3 counts and the victory. Both men went through hell during this match, with the second half of the match equaling anything you'll see this year. Both men will take a long time to fully recover, I'm sure. Ciampa retains, but Velveteen Dream will be involved in NXT Championship matches again in the future, without doubt. Ciampa cheekily kisses Dream on the cheek before waving goodbye and leaving the ring, holding the championship belt above his head. So this match, very good. I've given it 4.25 stars out of 5. We then watch the WarGames cage lower to cover both rings for the main events between Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne and the War Raiders. The Undisputed Era has the first advantage in this match. Both teams will start with 2 wrestlers. However, the Undisputed Era will have the man advantage after the first 5 minutes. Adam Cole is selected as the man to start the match for Undisputed Era. Next, War Raiders, Pete Dunne and Ricochet make their entrance, with Ricochet starting out for his team. Ricochet takes the match to Adam Cole in the early stages, with both battling between the 2 rings that have been set up inside the WarGames structure. Cole counters a second rope move from Ricochet into a backstabber. Remember, there can be no pinfalls until all 8 members are inside the cage, which is when the WarGames match can officially begin. Ricochet hits a stunning flying elbow, leaping between both rings, knocking Cole to the canvas. The first 5 minutes are up, and Kyle O'Reilly is the next man to give the Undisputed Era the man advantage as they go to work on the North American champion Ricochet. Adam Cole punishes Ricochet with a fireman slam onto Kyle O'Reilly's knees. Very impressive tag team maneuver there, a little bit of cooperation between the two there. Hanson from the War Raiders enters next, evening up the numbers for the good guys, hitting a series of clotheslines and corner avalanches onto alternative corners, squashing Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, as well as an impressive cartwheel by the big man. Hanson also gives an assist for Ricochet, allowing Ricochet to jump off of his back, hitting a shooting star press in the process. Roddy Strong is next to once again give the man advantage to Undisputed Era, and being quick to hit a series of very impressive backbreakers to punish Ricochet as the Undisputed Era start putting the beating into both Ricochet and Hanson with that man advantage. Some more good teamwork from Strong and O'Reilly here. Rowe from the War Raiders is next in, leaving Pete Dunne as the last man to enter for their side. Rowe soon gets to work on the Undisputed Era, and with help from Hanson is able to hit a powerbomb slam combo on both Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly at the same time. Very, very impressive. Some impressive action in the early going, with the one man from each team still to enter the WarGames cage. Bobby Fish is the last man of the Undisputed Era to leave their shark cage. However, before heading towards the ring, he attacks Pete Dunne, who is still standing inside his team's shark cage, pulling Dunn's arm through the bars, causing injury, causing a bit of pain there, I'm sure, before padlocking Pete Dunne inside his cage in a bid to prevent him from being able to enter the match himself. So not only was Pete Dunne's cage padlocked with their own lock and key, but Bobby Fish very cleverly used the padlock from their shark cage on Pete Dunne's cage as well, and then threw the key into the audience. Bobby Fish then joined his colleagues in the cage, giving the Undisputed Era a 4-on-3 advantage, grabbing a few chairs on his way into the cage as well. One for him, one for Strong, one for Kyle O'Reilly, and one for Cole. So chair shots all round from the Undisputed Era, keeping their opponents on the ground, with no way of Pete Dunne being able to join the match when the 2 minutes are up. Rowe gets slammed through a chair by Roddy Strong. Kyle O'Reilly causes further injury to Hansen's already injured leg. The clock ticks down to 0, but the ref is unable to open the second lock put on by Bobby Fish a few minutes earlier. Dual top rope suplexes by Strong and O'Reilly onto the War Raiders, with Undisputed Era looking strong at this point. Pete Dunne is finally released from his cage, and after some resistance from all 4 members of the Undisputed Era, Pete Dunne enters the ring with numerous weapons, including a trash can or trash cans, a chain, Singapore canes, and 2 tables. So let the war begin. Dunne finally enters the ring himself, wildly swinging his cane to floor his opponents. Dunne hits an X-Plex, slamming Strong onto Kyle O'Reilly. Hansen and Rowe are using each other as weapons to punish their opponents, but Undisputed Era make a comeback with Strong and Cole hitting Ricochet with a backbreaker, backstabber combo. Pete Dunne puts a knee bar on Bobby Fish's injured leg until Kyle O'Reilly is able to put Pete Dunne into an ankle lock, as Roddy Strong applies a camel clutch at the same time. So 2 submission holds on Pete Dunne at the same time, with Roddy Strong using a steel chair for extra leverage and extra punishment. Rowe gets driven through one of the tables set up between the 2 rings, and this leads us to Kyle O'Reilly, who is able to slap on a triangle submission hold onto Ricochet while lying on a table, until the huge Hansen leapt from the top rope, smashing O'Reilly through the very same table. This is followed by Adam Cole and Ricochet both climbing to the top of the cage to exchange punches. Then we see a massive Tower of Doom spot with virtually every member of the Wargames match involved, and Adam Cole taking the worst of the move, being suplexed from the top of the cage to the mat. Then the spot of the night, in my opinion, as Ricochet hits an awe-inspiring 720 moonsault onto the bodies below. Simply stunning. Then there's an 8-person fist fight. This match has had everything so far, but we get something we thought we'd never ever see. Hansen handspring double elbow, flooring Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong at the same time. Wow. The 3 count finally comes after Pete Dunne hits the bitter end on Adam Cole, followed by a Ricochet 450 splash, ending with Dunne and Ricochet both pinning Adam Cole at the same time, successfully winning the Wargames match for their team in this second Wargames match ever. I absolutely love this match, every bit as good as last year's, with the good guys going over after nearly 40 minutes in the ring. 4.5 stars out of 5. So Dunne and Ricochet stand tall at the top of the cage as the show comes to an end. Wow. Every NXT TakeOver show is nothing less than awesome, and this was no exception. I loved every match and loved the show as a whole. 3 out of the 5 matches rated well over 4 stars. And this could very well be the best show of the year. Don't take my word for it, go out and watch it for yourself. This is definitely one of my favourite shows of the year, alongside WWE Evolution and NXT TakeOver New Orleans, although I'm a little bit biased towards the New Orleans show because I was in attendance. The highlights for myself was the debut, NXT TakeOver debut of Matt Riddle, Io Shirai's moonsault to the outside during the Women's Championship match, and Ricochet's back moonsault from the top of the cage during the main event. Nevertheless, 5 matches worth watching again, and that is exactly what I will be doing soon. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my review of NXT TakeOver WarGames. I definitely enjoyed reviewing it. If you have any questions for the mailbag, simply email wrestlingwithjohners@gmail.com. Give us your feedback about the show. Get in touch. Let us know what you think. You can also get in touch via the Twitter page at withjohners_WWJ, or visit my YouTube page. Just search Johners Wrestling and check out all of my podcasts up on the YouTube page, including some videos of when I was at WrestleMania 34 New Orleans earlier on in the year. I'll be back later on in the week for another episode of Wrestling with Johners, talking about the latest episodes of NXT UK and NXT from Full Sail. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you all soon. Bye.